America lost one of its most respected statesmen when General Colin Powell died of complications from COVID-19 early Monday morning. The 84-year-old former Secretary of State had been fully vaccinated, but was also battling blood cancer. This week, flags are flying at half-mast here in Oklahoma and across the nation to honor Powell. Taylor Jackson joins us now with a reaction to his death from Oklahomans who knew him well. Taylor?
Rich, General Colin Powell was known for his courage and leadership and was awarded the Defense Distinguished Service Medal for his service. As America mourns his loss, Oklahomans say his legacy will continue on.
He was very smart, he was extremely well read, and he could converse with anybody on any topic.
Retired Major General Rita Aragon is describing the men she first met during the Gulf War, when Powell was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
I have a lot of respect for General Powell, as well as a lot of admiration for what his landmark opportunities.
Powell was not only the first African-American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he was also the youngest person ever appointed to that position.
When we talk about cabinet and political positions, we see people of color. He actually helped break that barrier to get people in there. The fact that he broke barriers that were unheard of in his day, being the first general of color, being the first chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of color.
That's a big deal. And a lot of people today who feel that if you're an African American, you can't make it in this country, he proved you can.
Powell served as President Ronald Reagan's national security advisor and broke another color barrier when President George W. Bush appointed him as Secretary of State in 2001. Bush released a statement this week saying many presidents relied on General Powell's counsel and experience. He was such a favorite of the president's that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. He was highly respected at home and abroad. And most important, Colin was a family man and a friend. In 2003, Bush instructed Powell to testify before the UN Security Council to explain his justification for declaring war on Iraq. Powell claimed Iraqi President Saddam Hussein controlled weapons of mass destruction, but that was later revealed to be untrue. The credibility of both the Bush administration and Powell was tarnished.
He got bad intelligence, quite frankly, as did President Bush. It's one of the great intelligence failures of the United States post-Pearl Harbor, post-9/11, is the belief that there were still weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, something, by the way, every other intelligence service in the world also agreed.
The thing that impressed me is the dignity with which he responded to the completely false narrative of weapons of mass destruction.
Both Congressman Cole and former Governor Keating say they respect the way Powell handled the situation.
When he made what he thought was a mistake, and I think he thought he made a mistake in the Iraq War, he would tell you about that later, that I maybe made the wrong call here.
He accepted responsibility for what he said, but he said, it's really important that we double, triple, quadruple check everything and not say something that is not correct, because the United States doesn't lie.
As the years went by, both men had the opportunity to get to know Colin Powell on a more personal level.
I mean, we lived in McLean, Virginia. He did too. And so when he was retired, I was retired. Kathy and I would go into the Safeway to buy some groceries, and invariably there would be Colin Powell. And we would talk about the weather. We'd talk about each other's grandchildren. We'd talk about our pets.
You know, you'd get a call and would you like to spend some time with Secretary Powell and see what he's thinking? And of course, who wouldn't jump at an opportunity like that? He represented some of the very best traditions of our country.
Powell's accomplishments have led to many other men and women of color being appointed to positions of power and influence in Washington.
The world is much better than it was, and we've moved broadly in the right direction. And the accomplishments of people like Colin Powell demonstrate that, in my view. But it certainly, it reminds you, I think he had a very, he recognized a lot of people before him probably had comparable abilities, but never had the opportunity.
Rita Aragon says Powell succeeded in part because of his ability to explain what he believed and why he believed it.
Make people understand his thoughts and his thought processes, which is not always easy for a military person. We have a tendency to see straight lines. and he could see three-dimensional, and I think that made a lot of difference in the way he was accepted, both in the political arena, in the governmental arena, and certainly in the military arena.
Those who knew him best say he could be tough, but was always open-minded.
Just always a remarkably decent man, a wise man in my view, very thoughtful, always willing to listen to every point of view.
I was impressed with his wisdom, his humility, his knowledge of the facts, and his willingness to listen to other people.
A memorial service for Powell will be held on Friday, November 5th at the Washington National Cathedral. The service will be by invitation only with limited seating.